In the previous video, we looked at what we call the baptism of the Holy Spirit. And this is not the Spirit within, this is the Spirit upon, for empowering for acts of service. Now that we are walking in the power of God's Spirit, we are no longer walking in the flesh, but walking in the Spirit. And so this introduces a further baptism into our lives called the baptism into the sufferings of Christ. The moment you and I walk in the Spirit, we are denying the flesh. And when we deny the flesh, that is what is called the sufferings of Christ, because the flesh is dying. The flesh does not get its own way. Now, in the book of Matthew chapter 20, we read the account of Jesus speaking to the mother of the sons of Zebedee, James and John. And she's requesting that they be seated on his left and his right hand in his kingdom. But Jesus makes a statement. He says, can they drink of the cup I'm about to drink of and be baptized with the baptism I'm about to be baptized with? Now, clearly Jesus has been baptized in water. The Holy Spirit has come upon him at this point, and he's speaking of a further baptism. We see this baptism play out in Matthew 26 when Jesus is in Gethsemane. And the same two boys, James and John, along with Peter, are with him. He leaves them to pray. He goes a stone's throw away, and he begins to be in great anguish, and he begins to pray. And he says, Father, if it be possible, let this cup be removed from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done. He prays this 3 times. Let this cup, this is the cup he spoke about in Matthew chapter 20 to the boys. And this is the cup of suffering. Jesus now is having to deny his own will and do his Father's will. And so the moment he chooses his Father's will over his will, he is drinking the cup. He is now experiencing suffering. The flesh is not getting what it wants. Comes back to the disciples and he says to them, the spirit is indeed willing, but the flesh is weak. And that's every one of our problems. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak when it comes to the will of God. Now in 1 Peter chapter 4, we read this, that we need to arm ourselves with the same mind as Christ. For he that has suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin, that he should no longer live the rest of his time in the lusts of the flesh, but rather to the will of God. And so very clearly, if we're going to cease from sin, we need to experience the suffering. And so the moment we choose the will of God, we will suffer in the flesh. So let's be encouraged as the church. We cannot avoid this principle of the sufferings of Christ. Let's do the will of God, and let's be willing to pay the price in the flesh.